Yo, welcome everybody, and today we're going to be taking a look at Alpha3 Studios 1/4 scale Cyclops. This is the Marvel Now Cyclops, so better known for the Extinction Team leader. One of the most brutal versions of Cyclops ever, made. This was made as a fan art piece. There's only 15 of these. It's a very, very low run. It's made by Alpha3 Studios and they're sculpted by AVI Sculptors. You probably know them. It's been around a very, very long time. It's pretty much the key guy over there at Alpha3. Comes with 3 portraits, and we'll be going over all the details and talking about the piece, so stay tuned, yeah? Okay, so we're starting with the unboxing of the Alpha3 Studios Cyclops. This is like the Marvel Now Cyclops. This is comes with 3 portraits, base figure. It's quite interesting because we've opened this up and, this has got the outside of the box there, which has got like the Alpha3 print and some of the details, but there's no art box for this, which just takes me back to sort of the old school fan art kind of thing where you didn't have art boxes and things like that. People tried to keep this stuff well under wraps and well away from like customs, open it up and anybody understanding what they were. So this is taking me right back, so I'm quite enjoying that. I've already opened this up and it looks like there. So this is the start of it. Now out of the way, and you can pretty much see there the crazy sort of colours from the figure itself, which is more of a sort of a blacky. It looks a little bit blue in this at the moment in person. It's not really not as blue as it's looking here. Let's get out and have a look. We've got some bits here, so we have to be careful. So we've got some like pouches and things. So that's a good weight. That's a nice weight. Let's have a little look. Get it away from these lights for a bit, and we'll take it off and see what's what. So we'll remove it from the packaging. Take that bag off for all you sensory people out there. I'm sure you're enjoying all this sort of sounds. And wow, so there you are. He is glossed as fuck. He is so shiny. And you've got sort of like, the double fist there. No arm switch outs, just 3 portraits. And you've got an idea of the size of him here. Let's give a little bit of a 360 on what we're looking at here. I have to turn down this brightness because there's so much sort of light shining on this. You're getting an idea here like that. It's very bright, bro. It's very, very glossy. He looks a bit sexy, that. You got the quads there and the boots. So it's a sort of black and red sort of Marvel Now suit. Got the pouches going around the belt. Nice clean lines. Nice work there. Not seeing any bleeding. Let's get close up on some of these lines around the back here. Look how clean those are. They are super clean. Sideshow's factory could have a little word with these lot because there's not a single bit of red bleeding onto this black in here at all. So far so good. Let's get the rest down. Okay, so this is the second layer. As you can sort of see here, we're talking about, we've got 3 portraits and we've got base. So let's start with the base. Okay, weight's pretty good. Got lovely. I'm loving that graphic on that. Let's have a look at that. So take it away from here so we get a little bit more light on it, and we can have a look here. So this is the base. It's got really nice sort of X on it. You can see the footprint in there, so that's going to be a very good key, because his actual whole foot is going to go in there, so it's going to have a nice deep, so it's got a peg and a little bit of a platform for that. You've got the details running around the sides. It's quite simplistic in its style. It's all sort of one colour, and this is it here. So, and I have number 1 of only 15 of these made. So, yeah, that's a nice name. That's a AVI or AVI, sculptures, which is awesome. So yeah, that's looking real good. So we'll get that down there and we'll start looking at these portraits. Okay, so we'll start with this one. Lovely, nice to see. Once again, let's get a bit more focus there. So once again, nice to see that these are all taped in. Got foam across the front. Oh, that's proper have a look at this one. Open them up and see what we're looking at here. Oh yeah, baby. Sexy, sexy stuff. Love the work on the visor there. It's got that really nice sort of translucent resin inside there. Translucent red. Always have to have a little look with my actual eye off camera here just to see, because sometimes these things actually lie. Good skin tones, hair's nice. It's not got any like flicks or anything coming out of it, so it's quite a simplistic hair sculpt. It's not, you know, no risk of damages, but you know, it definitely does the job for Cyclops. Nonchalant face. He's got a good leanness to his face as well. I find sometimes Cyclops' portraits can be a little bit bloated, but he's much more of an athletic physique, mesomorphic in sort of its shape. He's more sort of like a, you know, like an athlete, like, you know, like a CrossFitter or somebody who's like good at sort of a lot of stuff as opposed to a certain type of build. Nice work on this, clean. There's no issues at all. Very happy with that. All right, let's go for portrait number 2. I think it's going to have to be that one. Oh, here you are. This is the one, this is an interesting one, this, because this is the one they redid. And I actually redid this based on something that we said during the chat. Now, he has a little bit more of a flick there, a bit more of a sexy flick. Let's have a look at this. This looks fucking wonderful. There's a massive improvement on the head sculpt that they did. The first sort of rendition of this. Lovely work on the beard there. They've done the hair sort of in, that's actually in the sculpt as well. I can sort of feel it across there. Sometimes I think this is what Alex thinks he looks like, you know, with his sort of hair and beard sort of motif. So I think he sees himself like this a lot. When I see his AI images that he makes of himself, I always think, But yeah, I think this is a huge improvement. The skin tones are wonderful in this. I love the visors. Again, it's the same type of translucent sort of resin, sort of really metallic, really reflective. This is not translucent, but it's really good red. So you're getting the Cyclops vibes for sure. I like the flicks and stuff into his hair there, so you can sort of get a good look at that. You know, there's a little bit of more sort of risk in this one where they've done this. There's a few hairs coming out over the top. It's not quite as neat as the last one, but I like that. They've not copied and pasted the head sculpt, so I'm loving that. That's a real big improvement. Great job from Alpha3 Studios there. And now, portrait number 3. This is actually the portrait that I really wanted. This is one of the main reasons that I bought this piece. That and the museum sort of pose and the sort of, you know, the design I really liked. But this is the head that I really wanted, and that's sort of the real classic, sort of real Marvel Now sort of look, like in the cover. Oh yeah, it's everything I hoped for and more. That is fucking class. I love it. That's brilliant, man. That's exactly what I wanted. Slightly different expression on the bottom of the lips and nose there as well, which is good. And you've got that translucent sort of a jelly-like red going over his eyes. That big cross, like dead on. That's perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. Yeah, I love it, man. Really am digging that. It's like brilliant. This is exactly the portrait I wanted. This is the one I wanted to portray. Like have the statue with, to go in there with Sinister and Jean Grey. I'm going to move out that bow inserter, but that's my plan. And then we can sort of get that on there and take a little look and see what we think about it, eh? Let's have a little see. Right, so I'm going to do a little close-up on this Alpha3 Studios Cyclops. Now, this is the Marvel Now Cyclops. This is the Extinction Team Leader Cyclops. This Cyclops is a bit more of a aggressive leader. He's basically morals and theories align a lot more with Magneto's in terms of mutants and the fact that they should be ruling the humans and not enslaved by humans, and he will act quite violently to protect them. He is the leader of the X-Men still. He actually kills Charles Xavier, believe it or not, under the influence of the Phoenix Force, and is imprisoned. But he does get free and carries on his work leading the X-Men quite violently in a lot of ways. This is a much more, what I would call an assertive leader. and a lot more brutal, so definitely more my kind of style. I love the suit. This piece is from Alpha3. There's only 15 of these made in the world, and I have number 1 right in front of you right now. Let's get into what I think is good, bad, and indifferent about the piece, if there is anything. Let's get some close-ups while we're doing it. So the base has got this sort of silver metallic sort of look to it. I think that they should have added a little bit of contrast to the front of this and definitely put the X's there. I think they should have been made red. Maybe the shine of the red could have been lined in the inside of these beams, just to break up this massive sort of silver here. I think that's the one flaw I have with this piece, is just that, you know, there isn't enough of a contrast separating into these colours here. It's all sort of one big mass of silver. You get over to the top and things improve drastically with this massive enlightened X. You can see that it appears like the beams in the inside of there are actually like glowing, and it's got this sort of weird hexagon sort of style running through it there, which is pretty cool. He's very glossy, this piece. It's like super shiny. And then you get into the suit, and the suit even appears here, may appear a little bit more black. I mean, this is very much a charcoal grey suit with very bright red sort of lines. The lines are absolutely crisp, clean, there's no problems. The sculpt from Avi is what we would like to say, or AVI Sculptures, is really nice. They've got the physique of him perfectly. He's got sort of quite a mesomorphic body shape. He's got fairly decent, like, long legs, more athletic, more agile, more built for sort of a function. He's got thick arms, biceps, triceps, and radiobrachialis forearm looks all great. He's got sort of thick shoulders, good traps, so it's a really good sculpt on the body. The silver buckle on sort of the front of the X, super clean. And when you've seen recently the Archangel pictures of all this, the lines everywhere, this is a lot better. These lines are spotless. There's not anything out of place here at all. Our pouches are good. I probably would have liked to see a little bit more sort of sculpting detail in them pouches, a little bit more of a leather sort of look with some sort of scuffs and some texturing in there. Would have broke up this shine a little bit better, I believe. And then you get into the back of it. Let's have a look. And I love the sculpt at the back here. You can see his, you know, his traps, his lams dorsi, and his you know, sort of his rotator cuff muscle groups all around the side here, all sort of flexing as he pins his shoulders ever so slightly back. This is the portrait that I really wanted. This is the one I wanted to display. This one here. I think this is awesome. This is my favourite part of the entire piece, is this portrait. The skin tones are fantastic. The sort of X on his face is almost like a jelly-like translucent resin, and it's got that sort of like shine in the inside of the X where he, you know, releases his sort of beams. A lot of people think they're sort of heat rays with Cyclops, but in fact they are portals to another dimension, and they're just loaded with kinetic energy. So he's really, really powerful in that way. So yeah, and I think that captures it lovely there. I think that portrait is absolute killer. You've got, it's a very sort of glossed finish. It's going to capture every bit of light you have in your room. So if you have a room that's like quite bright, it's going to reflect a lot. Like when I opened it, when I was out doing the unboxing, it actually appeared blue. I was like, fuck, this is not meant to be fucking blue. And then I kept looking, and as I got it out, it was like, oh, that was just something reflecting from behind it where he was, you know, so that's awesome. So you've got some colours in your display. It's really going to bounce off this piece. He stands around like 23 inches tall, so it's not a crazy piece. It definitely will fit into a DTOF, so it's a really easy piece to sort of get into your collection. And it comes with 3 portraits. You have this one here, which is the more Marvel Now style. He's got an unmasked one with the classic visor, metallic visor, and then he has the ruby quartz sunglasses with the bearded portrait, which is fucking outstanding from Alpha3, because that portrait was really quite rough. We critiqued it on the chat, and then they changed it, and they basically said, well, fucking shove up your ass, I'll show you. And they have, because it is absolutely, it's a mint portrait. So I'll show you that shortly. We'll do a couple of 360s of this piece with all the different heads, and we'll let Alex have a little chat and tell you what he thinks looking it over. but really nice. I'm very happy with it. What would I change? Since this is a Radd Titan review, I probably, like I said, I would do some work around the outside of that base just to break it up a little bit. I definitely think the X's should be lit up. I think they should be reflecting off them beams as well, and it should be some highlighted. Maybe this line here could all be red too, and just run around the outside. I think that would look great when you were looking at it from sort of a whole. You can see back from here. I think that would have added some nice work to it. I probably also would have added some contrasting textures. So I probably would have put, you know, like I said, with the belt, that would be enough to break it up, because they're quite shiny, and then the actual suit is really shiny. So I think that would have been nice to make them a bit more matte and a bit more textured and weathered. Would have been a good shout. I mean, the problem is this is really accurate to the comic, so you can't have any arguments about how it came out, because it came out exactly as it should do. He's basically like, you know, Shine Man, glowing suit, fucking really looks cool, and it will stand out in your collection. I'm absolutely delighted and proud to have this one in my collection. I've sold the XM piece. I wanted this to go in here, so the idea here is that it's going to go in with Mr. Sinister and the Jean Grey over there, the Sideshow one, sculpted by Mark Newman. This one, Mad Creation Sinister. I'm going to move out Surtur there and put him in that spot, and I'll show you that when we're all finished and done. This is the third portrait, so this is the one that was changed. Alex will put some pictures of the original portrait into the review. Sorry, Al. This is the one that they redone based on some feedback and certainly what we were saying on the chat. This is much better. This one has the ruby quartz sort of sunglasses. He's got the beard, and the beard is done fantastically well. Look at the texture and everything of that. Looks absolutely unreal. Got Alex sending me a message going, "What Cyclops is this? What a fucking retard." He's got the glasses there, and you can see that. It's got like, even you can see like the screw in the side of the actual glasses itself, which is brilliant. Ear sculpt is spot on. It's got really nice work into the portrait, into the hair. It's got these wisps across the front compared to the classic, which obviously is here. You've got a completely different expression and completely different hair, which I think is absolutely awesome. I mean, if you look at these just head on here, you can see just how different they actually are. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. There's no shortcuts here with this. I think they've done a fantastic job, and you've got three completely different ways to display this Cyclops piece. I actually really like the fact that the skin tones here, look how good that seam is there, look how good that join is there. Like, there's literally nothing, it's perfect. You can see the sort of top of his pecs running into his neck and sort of build around his sort of throat, you know, around the musculature of him is fantastic. And I think this really does add a bit of contrast to that sort of very shiny, very bright and, you know, sort of almost glowing suit. This is like something out of fucking Tron, like Tron Legacy, this suit. I love it. But this is the reason why I got it as well. This is one of the portraits I thought just was absolutely fantastic. So I thought I'd run through this and just congratulate Alpha3 and actually listen to their fans, listening to feedback and actually improving the work and saying, no, you know what, fuck you, we'll do this, we'll do it better and we'll send it. And they actually really have. They've sent it out fantastic. I'm really happy that I bought this piece. Fair play, Mark. Mad love, bro. Anyway, let's get on our final thoughts and we'll be off. Anyway, you're welcome back, and you've heard what we thought about the piece, and hopefully you've got a good idea of what you're looking at. This is one of those pieces that sort of fell into my lap. You know, I was looking for something to go into my display with Mr. Sinister from Mad Creations and the Sideshow Collectibles Jean Grey exclusive, and I really wanted it to have a cube which basically showed Sinister and his obsession with Scott Summers and Jean Grey's genetics. Anybody that knows Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister, is obsessed with those two because he believes the key to the most powerful mutant exists inside the genes of both Jean Grey and Scott Summers together. Hence why he manipulated the situation when Jean Grey died from the Phoenix Force to create Madeline Pryor clone and hook him up with Cyclops, and then therefore create a baby which was twin babies actually, which were Nathan Summers, otherwise known as Cable, and Strife, the twins. So, you know, with that in mind, I wanted a piece that had a relatively small footprint, definitely museum pose, and I wanted something different. The blue suit has been done to death by a zillion people, and I really wanted something a little different, something a little more modern and with more of aggressive style. And this Marvel Now version has exactly hit all of those marks. So well done to Alpha3 Studios. I think they've done a cracking piece, and I'm very proud to own it. Peace. Make sure you cut this, Alex, you fucker, instead of leaving it on the video where I'm walking past. You lazy fuck. Fuck you. Yes, I know I'm wearing a Hulk t-shirt. Don't have a fucking X-Men t-shirt.